Okay, guys, I can't say that it's very often that a car can drive me to drink, is probably what I shouldn't say, but that can drive me to go insane. And unfortunately, this Omoda C9 did just that. Thankfully, I've now figured out why, but I'll tell you about that in a second. But first, I want to tell you that you can get insurance on this car at hippo.co.za if you put your details in. I put mine in. I got a couple of quotes there, the cheapest one being 878 Rand a month with an excess of 9,500 Rand. So that is cool. Now, I attended the launch of the Omoda C9. Now, bearing in mind that Omoda is the sort of premium arm of Chery, right? They've got the C5 that came out a while ago that did quite well. Now, I went to this launch a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month, I don't know, whatever. And I was really impressed with it, right? I'd gotten out of Mercedes-Benz and into this, and I was like, whoa, how murk is this? It's got like the same seat adjusters up here on the door like Merc does. It's got the stalk behind here, which I keep thinking is an indicator, which I do in a Mercedes-Benz as well. And then I all of a sudden am reversing, okay? But mind you, whatever's. This is like very a la Merc. It's very a la JLR. It's got the retractable handles like they do. This is actually based or inspired by the Velar. Actually not based on, like inspired by. So it like looks really good. Now, I tell you all of this stuff, right? I tell you all of this. Now, usually I will spend some time in a car. I obviously do my research, even though a lot of you think I don't, I do. I then go through everything. I try and test things out. I drive it for sort of as many of the days as I can that I have it. And then I will do my review, okay? The other night I came back from the Cars.co judging, okay, in Joburg. I'd spent a week there and was exhausted. And this was waiting for me at the airport. And so I got in it and I drove home because I was going to then sleep for what felt like 10 days, but whatever, it was going to sleep until the next day. And then I would enjoy this car and get to know it, right? So I just got in and drove. Woo! Let me tell you, this car almost got driven off Chapman's Peak on purpose. I was so irritated because it's beeping at me everywhere. I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't telling me on the screen. It was beeping in the speaker, which I want to rip out from behind my head. There were just so many things annoying me. I turned off all the driver assist systems while I was driving, which was a little bit dangerous, to be honest, but there was traffic on the N2, so that helped. Eventually, I got home without smashing the car and went to bed and forgot about it because I just couldn't deal with it. I was just in such a mood. And it's unfortunate when you kick off a car like that, right? So thankfully I put my professional hat back on, and I also had time with it on the launch and was quite impressed. I realize now that at the launch, everything had been turned off for us, which I understand, but at the same time, it's kind of not a real representation or representative of what this car is and what it can offer. Those are all safety things and driver assist systems that people might want. But if you have to turn them off because they're so intrusive and so annoying, what's the point in having them? That's my point. Like, why have them? And if you have to turn them off for the media to drive, then what? What is that kind of saying, I guess? Because someone else on the media launch said to me, like, oh, how annoying is the distraction thing or the ping? And I was like, I don't have any of that. I was like, no, this is so nice because it's not intrusive. I'm now seeing that now that I'm driving, I've got everything turned off and it's great. So I'm not annoyed by it. But again, what's the point of them? But I say this in many of the Chinese cars that I've driven, right? So this isn't exclusive to Omoda. I'm not shitting on them. I'm just was annoyed.
Normal mode.
So my camera overheated. That's not a great thing. It turned off. And then while I'm trying to do the aircon, I keep doing the driving modes.
Sport mode. Snow mode. Normal mode.
By mistake.
Eco mode.
Okay. All right. We hear you. Right. So now you know it's got a bunch of different driving modes. But anywho, so yeah, sorry about that. Let's get back on track here. I have no idea where I was. So I'm going to start with the features that this car, the C9 comes with, which is really pretty amazing. It's got like everything, right? I'm in the all-wheel drive Explorer, which is the top of the range one. They're two different derivatives. And this has like Napa leather. It's got 12 speakers, including the one in the headrest, which I don't love. It's also got, like, they both come with sort of like ambient lighting. It's got 12.5-inch entertainment and 12.5-inch digital instrument cluster, heated front and rear seats, heated steering wheel, this sunroof. I don't think there's anything you could need, right? I don't think there's anything else they could add, honestly, besides maybe flying itself for you. But genuinely, it is, one of those cars that is so well spec'd that you can't even ignore it, basically. It's got so much going on. That's maybe one of my other sort of things at the moment with a lot of the Chinese brand cars, is that they are very over the top. The one thing this does have for me, and I've noticed it when I'm driving in sort of midday or, in the sun, the head-up display is in a like boxy thing, but what happens is it reflects onto the window, and so instead of just seeing the head-up display, I see a massive like frame around it, which is the plastic that it's housed in. That's not great. The thing about Omoda, what I love though, and Chery for that matter, is they really do take on customer feedback and then improve, and they're constantly improving. So little quirks and little things that might stop bothering people. It's why I think it's something like the media launch. They know that they can turn it off, because rather do that and not have everyone annoyed by the car when it doesn't have to be annoying. So I like that they take on the feedback, not just from customers, but from the media as well, I think. Now, this car has the same engine as the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max, but it's got more power. So this has got 197 kilowatts of power, 400 Newton meters. It's a 2-liter turbo petrol. It's a fantastic engine. It's mated to an 8-speed auto. I do love that it's sort of eager, but not overly so. So you don't press your foot down on the, a throttle and go flying, jumping forward like a lot of the other sort of badly calibrated throttles are doing in a number of these cars. If you're in sport mode, it will hunt quite a bit for the gears, but you keep it into comfort and eco and you're fine. And I think you'll be fine in that. You've still got enough power. Don't be silly. It's not a performance car. Okay. Obviously, like Mercedes-Benz, there's a lot going on in the screen, right? And you have to familiarize yourself. You have got shortcut buttons here so that you can go straight to like a climate control screen, but you still kind of have to go in and in and in and in and in to change other things or whatever, which can be somewhat annoying, I won't lie. Space-wise, it's really spacious in the back, especially. You've got loads of legroom, loads of headroom, the boot's big enough. I find it to be, it almost feels bigger than it is in a way. Like sometimes when I'm driving it, I'm like, whoa, I'm actually in quite a big car. But I love that because, it's a bigger, more powerful model than when the C5 launched. That's like the sort of Tiguan, BMW X1 sort of vibe, CX5. This is, Audi Q5, Merc GLC, BMW X3, that kind of thing. Pricing wise, so it kicks off at about 786,000. This is 886,000. They had a promotional special in October when it launched, so I'm not sure if it's still at exact that price. It was when I was doing my research. It might have gone up because I was doing my research like 1st of November sort of thing. So it might not have updated. Maybe it's still in that special, which is yay. I think it's a very compelling price point, especially when you consider that it is trying to rival the more premium models, which can be like $1 million and over. But you're getting the same sort of features and the same sort of feel. It's very plush. The ride quality is really good. It's a very comfortable car. You feel like you're in a premium car. Like I say, I got from a Mercedes-Benz into this, and I can tell you that it feels as premium as any of those premium models. The only letdown for me are the quirks and the little things that bugger the bonkers out of me, okay? Like, that's my only real issue with it. And so those are things that you need to consider, because I want to say go and drive one because you might love it. And that's great. But drive it for longer and drive it, maybe go back a few days over and over. And if you still love it, yay. Because I think a lot of these, unfortunately, these cars people are buying because they are like such a shiny package and they come with so much and they offer such great value for money. and then you have them for like a month and you're like, oh, this is so annoying, or oh, this is irritating. Things for me are like functional things that some people might not be bothered with at all. So I don't like the way the door handles are. You'd probably get used to them. Normally I get used to something within a day or two. This I'm not getting used to. I think often I've got stuff in my hands and I can't do that with this. So I have to always transfer everything. And that's just like a busy life, right? You constantly like in and out of cars and you're doing stuff, you've got keys in and then I don't know. So that annoys me. The other thing is I can't have the key anywhere near the car where I park it because then the lights stay on. This happened to me with the JQ as well, funny enough. No, that's a lie. It happened to me with the Jetour. So that's a bother. Ooh, a bother. I've just made up a new word. It bothers me. But it does make for a rather compelling argument at this price point. And when you consider that it's got a very good 7-year, 100,000 kilometers service, 7-year, 200,000 warranty, 10-year, 1 million, whatnot, all that jazz. Like, yeah, I get the appeal. So go take a look. Go take it for a drive. So I'll always admit when I made a mistake. And as I finished recording, I found a button. So as much as I don't like these door handles, there's a button here on the door that you can open the door with, which is pretty cool. I think it's, I'm going to give it a bash. Maybe it's easier than just a general handle. But I do appreciate that there are two options here.